Have you ever wondered how many mistakes Naruto anime has in the story? Welcome to the top 5 biggest mistakes in Naruto anime video. Mistake number 5. Obito uses the 6 paths of pain technique on the revived Jinchuriki. This technique was used by Nagato and was later adopted by Obito after taking his Rinnegan. This technique can only be used by Rinnegan users and no one else. This technique gives the user the ability to control 0.6 different dead bodies simultaneously. Chakra receivers are implanted in the dead body and can be controlled by the Rinnegan user. When he gained the Rinnegan, Obito used this technique on 6 revived Jinchuriki. The mistake is that this technique is used on dead and not living bodies. This technique requires dead bodies, not living ones. Since they are revived, they are no longer dead bodies, making the technique unusable on revived warriors. Mistake number 4. Itachi's revival and plot armor. Don't get me wrong, Itachi's revival is very important for the continuation of the story. Using the Sharingan, he breaks free from Kabuto's control and saves the Shinobi world from the revival jutsu. The problem is that Kabuto had many ways to stop Itachi without a fight. Kabuto could have simply put Itachi back in the coffin because they were still connected. He could also just cancel Itachi's reanimation and then get rid of him. Another mistake Itachi makes is not using his Sharingan to reveal the symbols of the reanimation jutsu. Instead of Itachi taking them out, he forces Kabuto to use them and free all the revived shinobi. Instead of gaining an immortal body and power, Itachi decides to die with the other revived warriors. Imagine if he did that, he stayed to fight Madara. Another mistake related to this topic is that Obito allowed Kabuto to revive Itachi. We have proof that Kabuto wanted to revive Shizui, but Obito told him not to push his luck, even though he knew Itachi was stronger than Shizui. Obito still allows Itachi to be brought back and Shizui not. Mistake number 3. Orochimaru uses hands in Shippuden. At the beginning of Shippuden, there is a fight between Naruto and Orochimaru. In battle, Orochimaru uses his hands without any problems. The hole in the story is that Orochimaru can't use his hands, and here's why. During the first season of the anime, a fight took place between him and Hiruzen Sarutobi. In order to defeat Orochimaru, Hiruzen uses the Death Reaper Seal technique. But instead of sealing Orochimaru's soul, Hiruzen just took away Orochimaru's arms. We learned that Orochimaru can't use jutsu or use his hands properly. But again, we can clearly see that he has no problem using his hands in the fight with Naruto. He even managed to summon a triple Rashomon using a summoning jutsu. There is a half-hearted explanation for this. Orochimaru can use his hands, but only for techniques that don't require hand symbols. This is a huge mistake in the story because Orochimaru shouldn't be able to move his arms or use jutsu. And if the writers knew that Orochimaru completely lost his hands, they decide to half-heartedly return them, which makes no sense for the story. Mistake number 2. Hiruzen doesn't punish Danzo for betraying Naruto's secret. Hiruzen was one of the characters who knew that Kurama was sealed into Naruto. Hiruzen asks everyone who knows this information to keep it a secret. Instead of keeping the secret, Danzo immediately revealed to the entire village that Naruto had a tailed beast sealed inside him. There is a possibility that Hiruzen did not know that Danzo did it, but that's hardly possible. Another option is that Hiruzen simply forgave him, but we never got an answer to that. And finally, the biggest hole in the story. The incomplete summoning of the ten-tailed beast, and Obito becoming its Jinchuriki. In the anime, it is clearly stated that all the tailed beasts and the statue must be sealed in order to summon the ten tails. But since Obito couldn't defeat Naruto and Killer Bee, he decides to perform the summoning in another way. Obito seals the tentacle of the eight-tailed beast and seals the golden and silver brother. For those of you who don't know, the golden and silver brother Ginkaku and Gunkaku possess the chakra of the nine-tailed beast. Obito breaks the logic and rules of the anime and summons the ten tails without sealing all the tailed beasts. In return, Obito received an incomplete ten-tailed beast that was unstable. Unlike Madara, who became a complete Jinchuriki, Obito was incomplete and unstable. Obito himself said that he didn't care what form the ten tails was summoned in, as long as he was able to initiate infinite Tsukuyomi. But that doesn't diminish the fact that there is a big hole in the story. Obito couldn't summon the ten tails because he didn't gather all the tailed beasts. It wasn't said anywhere that he needed their chakra, but the entire beast. Summoning the ten tails in this way is a huge mistake in the story. Although I believe that all the mistakes I mentioned earlier were made on purpose in order to move the story forward. That's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Write to me if you have ideas for future videos and what is the worst mistake that we have analyzed now.